Welcome to HDPP Live on a Wednesday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District has the present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. Wearing Hinckley's 6 of the best, stupendous quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chapter applauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous dead, here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know we keep it HDPP.
Oh my word, stand by. Here's the man himself. Good evening. Oh, hello. Kiwi. Good evening. Oh, well. Good evening and welcome once again to a Wednesday. No, it's not just a Monday night. You see, I'm so in autopilot. Can we change the auto cue, please? Thank you. Welcome to a Monday night live here on Hinckley District, past and present, live. And as you can already see, the chat room's blooming well busy. Yes. I love it. Even David Blow is here with us this evening. He's remembered. We had to send him a prompt. He said, well, I got in, but not the proper way. Blooming passwords. Yeah, good evening. Here we go. And we've got lots of likes. Remember to like and subscribe. Then you never miss. Come on out, Fighty. You never miss. Scares me when she does that. You'll never miss another episode. That's right. Keep on hitting that like bell. Yeah, absolutely. I hope Den's improved on his sound now. Everybody else seems to be okay. Den, is it you? Do you want turning up a bit on your machine? Good evening, John Fletcher as well. Oh, hello. Let's see, plenty of people in that chat room already. So as usual, I always like to give everybody a quick welcome. And if you want to hear the bell ting, just like the video because you just like this stream. Look, you're doing it. I could just sit here all night, couldn't I? Wonderful. Welcome along. Daniel Coburn here first thing this evening. Nice one, Daniel, and thank you for messaging me on FOSS 107 last week. That was most appreciated, mate. Ian Roberts is here. Good evening, room. Jan Kirby. I'm surprised Jan remembered. Having said that, she did ask if we were live tonight. Hello to Queen Bee, of course. Kevin Beasley's here as well. Dennis Perkins. Oh, these bells. The bells. Also, Carol Beasley's made it tonight. Carol, we're not worthy, because sometimes she's off crafting on a Monday, you know. She's made it tonight. I'm glad you're here, Carol. It's never the same without you, sweetheart. Really isn't. And as I was saying earlier on, Dangerous Dan asking, is it the volume or is it just me? Probably just you. I cranked it a little bit for you, mate, anyway. Clive Armstrong's here. And Jan Kirby said, I haven't got any sound. Funny how everybody else has, isn't it? Mary Blake's back. Hello, Mary. Where you been? Missed you for a while. Anyway, she's wishing everybody a good evening. And Carol Beasley's watching us on her telly. Look how big it is in here. Wow. You can tell I'm in Burbage, can't you? Whoa, look at this room. Also, Maureen Harris is here. Good gal. She's great. Hi, Paul and Sue. I hope everyone you've had a good birthday. Maureen and Ray here. So, if those of you having your birthdays, I can give you a mention. If you want a mention in the happy birthday slot, message me now and I'll do that. And Jeff Wallace and Anna are all the way from Lincolnshire, from Flat Lincolnshire. Yeah, wait enough blowing cold and up your toot. Absolutely it does. And great to know that you're there, Jeff, and whatnot. We've got anagrams tonight. We've got Where in Hinckley tonight. Two great features all coming up for you tonight. And look who's here as well. It's Mr. Nosy himself. It's our Steve. Steve, thanks very much. We're getting ready for a nosy a little bit later on this evening. He said, good evening, Paul, me old beauty. Love it. Oh dear. Now then, Alan Cropp's here. Actually, we remembered tonight. Hello to everybody. The Crops are in. Yes, absolutely. Dennis Perkins. I've rebooted, but sounds slow. Shall I thump it? You can thump it. We're punching out 3,000 watts of power here. Can I say that? Yeah. 3,000 watts of power here. Anyway, all right. So Mary Blake says, we were here last week. Well, I'm glad you were. Well, a Monday night, how has your bank holiday been? Have you been up to anything exciting for your bank holiday? Not much going on here because I tried to do a tiny bit in the garden and my old back soon plays in. But I did try to repair my shed a little bit as well because it started to fall to bits. After all, it's only somewhat about 36 years old, blooming cheap things, but it did need a bit of remedial repairs, so I tried to do that. But the problem was my shed and next door's fence are right next to each other. You can hardly, well, you certainly can't swing a cat around there. Very, very difficult to get in with your screwdriver and your power tools, but we managed it with the help of Mrs. G. So there you. But as Jan Kirby says, bit of a grey day. What a grey day! It has been pretty well. This afternoon, the sun came out for a few minutes. I thought, here we go, it'll be all right, bit grey. But the weather forecast overall is dry. And for the next, for the foreseeable future, temperatures rising should be good. What to do a weather forecast on here, like I do on the wireless. However, so in the programme tonight, as I say, we have got your anagram. We have got your Where in Hinckley. It's a great night. We've got lots to get through, so let's get to it, as they often say. And first of all, what I always like to do is give our sponsors a very quick mention. Thank you very much for their help and support. Absolutely. And Carol Beasley is saying, it's been a lovely today. Went to the Flower Festival at Dadlington. Yes, I forgot that was on today. Yeah. And then we've got David Blower saying, David Blower said, my sound is 2 seconds behind my picture, but that's because I'm on two computers. You see, you're sucking all your bandwidth out there, David. Absolutely. Also, as you know, our new DVD commemorating 100 years of the War Memorial is now available at Jasper's. And it's fun. It really is super. If you haven't yet got your copy, go get it, please. It goes to our good causes and Greg Droch's chosen local cancer charities. That's what we're doing on that way. And if you've also, by the way, if you've into all that, let me remind you about this wonderful event that's been organised. It's the Centennial of the War Memorial. Exactly 100 years ago, it will be on Friday, the 20th of May 2022. A short service of remembrance. It's going to be really good. I know that they're planning to cover the memorial with the flag. We think it's the same flag that was on it when it was first unveiled 100 years ago. I was down there with the organisers the other day, and we put the flag across the front of the memorial, which was quite poignant. It needed ironing, but having said that, yes, we think it could be the very actual same flag that was used on the unveiling. So there we go. A reminder to you also, because again, lots of inquiries. How many DVDs has HDPP done? Not enough, I hear you say. Yeah. This is the selection, really, that we currently have going. They're on sale at Hinckley District Museum, of course, which, remember, is open every Monday as well, all the way through to the end of October, as well as Saturdays. And these are the DVDs. Wonderful Historic Hinckley and Wonderful Historic Hinckley Volume 2. And all the details of what's on them there. But I would draw your attention to the Hinckley War Memorial Roll Call and their Name Liveth Forevermore DVDs. They would be super if you bought them together, because they do complement each other very, very well. So there we go. So absolutely brilliant. We'll be scanning again, ladies and gentlemen, on May the 21st. So please tell your friends if they've got pictures they want scanning. We may even feature a few in the Hinckley Times. Then we would be most pleased about that too. Okay then. So meanwhile, and back at the ranch, as it were, let's get on with some of our competitions this evening. There's so much going on already. Have you already liked and subscribed? If you haven't liked, you won't get a ding. So if you want a ding, you've got to go ding, like, and we'll give you the ding. All right. Who wrote this stuff? Oh, my script writer. Anyway, so I hope you had a great bank holiday Monday. Let's get firstly straight to the anagram. Now, let me just scroll down my list because I've got to get this in the right order. So, wait a minute, here we go. There you are. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. I trap a rollicking curry mac. Who wrote this? I love it. I trap a rollicking curry mac. Clue is, I've never seen a bus here. Now, I do know the answer to this because this one was sent to us by our friend over there in Flat Lincolnshire, Jeff. And he sent me half a dozen. He said, these will keep you going. He said, hopefully some of the clues will be okay. Rearrange, I trap a rollicking curry mac. And I've never seen a bus here. That's the clue. It will give you the location, a very well-known location of a sporting activity. I'll have to say, I've got to be careful. I don't want to give it away. So, a sporting activity that is well known up and down the country, not a million miles from Hinckley. Not a million miles from Hinckley. So, rearrange. I trap a rollicking curry mac. I like these sort of things. That will give you, that's all the letters you need. I'll leave it on the screen just a couple of moments. There we go. And like I say, it's a local sporting venue which is known up and down the country, and it's not a million miles from Hinckley. It's not in Hinckley, but it's not a million miles from us either. And it's a sporting activity. You know it. It's well known. Trust me, it is. I trap a rollicking curry mac. In fact, that sounds like the cue for a song, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. So that's for if you like to give yourself a little test out there and how you can, get the old grey matter working tonight. Okay, I think we've left it on pretty well long enough. Okay, we'll come back to that in between our films tonight. And before we get our first film this evening, how about a wearing Hinckley? Well, a wearing Hinckley always goes well, doesn't it? So, how keen are you to notice things in Hinckley? I think you'll know this one. I think it's easy, but there again, they're all easy to me when it comes to Hinckley. But here we go. Remember, don't put your answer in the chat room. Don't do that, missus. Oh, no, don't, missus. No, titty not. Don't. Just keep it to yourself, because you might be the overall winner, the winner of all times. So why not? So keep it to yourself. Let's have a look. Where in Hinckley? Pretty easy, I'm sure you'll agree. Where can I see those lovely windows in Hinckley? It is pretty easy, actually. I'll just leave it on there a moment or two so you can get that. If you think you know where it is, you can get in the chat room, just say, I know. And then later on, we'll call you to book and see if you do know. Meanwhile, back at the anagram, Dave Blower says, I've got a grandma idea. I've just got to make it work. You might be on the right tracks already. What was... Somebody's... Pick your teeth up, Sue. I don't know what that was. Okay, so that's the Where in Hinckley we'll be doing that. Okay, I'm going to give you a nice feature. Like I say, we've got a great noser coming up with our Steve a little bit later on. But first, a nice little 20-minute film, which I think you're really, really going to enjoy. Once again, it's one of Stuart Watson's, but I've managed to lift this out of another one of his wonderful productions. Just for the record, what you're going to see is this particular video was made in 1995. So just cast your mind back. What was you doing in 1995? Oh, my God. You think, oh, maybe you were getting married. Maybe you were getting divorced. Maybe you just spent the whole year in the pub. I don't know. Jan Kirby, my chat isn't working. Well, how come, Jan? I can see what you're typing. I don't know. Jan, it's working. I can see what you just put. I love my members, I do. Which reminds me, just thank you very, very much to Linlow, who gave us a great, absolutely great night in miniature. She bought some of the smaller dolls' houses and all the little figures. And for those of you that all came, thank you very much. It was a great little night. Much enjoyed, by the way. Absolutely it was. Okay, I promise. Let's get on with one of these films from Stuart Watson. Like I say, he made them in 1995. This was the same year as Hinckley District Museum actually opened. So it gives you an idea. And we're going to see lots of changes and stuff. But it's a great little bit. Now then, so let's go on. Poor Jan can't see what people are saying about her. That's what Jan's on about. You've just look down here. Look down there. Yeah. Here we go then with a little bit of Stuart Watson and let's say the late Stuart Watson, who made these films, like I say, back in the days of old videotapes. But I think he did very, very well. Didn't have the digital technology which we all know and use today. So to be fair to him, I think he did a great job. So sit back and enjoy this 20-minute film from Stuart Watson, from his original production of Hinckley District Past and Present. That's what he called it.
And now a collage of photographs of the period and some old footage, all of which spans the 100 years that this piece of music is covering. Regent Street as it appeared in 1880, and in the distance off to the right is Coventry Road. The Congregational Chapel in 1903 still has its old facade, which wasn't changed until quite recently. On the right, what is now the Edwards Centre, and motorised traffic in 1920, and splendid trees line the pavements. On the marketplace, this building is now replaced with the Midland Bank, with Station Road off to the left. And in 1907, looking opposite to this, we recognise Castle Street going up to the right. In 1902, the Post Office and Station Road was not too different from today. A stroll up Church Walk in 1905 would look like this, where you could lean over and shake hands with your neighbours across the road. Emerging from the top of Church Walk, we looked down Castle Street as it was in 1905, but by 1923 it was busy with two-way traffic. The shop at the bottom left of the picture helps to recognise the chemist at the corner of New Buildings and Castle Street, and the shop on the right is now an estate agency. A little further along New Buildings, or Grimm's Lane as it was originally called, this view is looking along Derby Road in 1904. To the right is Leicester Road, but until 1914, Hollier's Walk was, as its name implies, only a walkway. Along Leicester Road we arrive at Spa Lane at the turn of the century. back along Derby Road towards Ashby Road as it was in 1909, and we soon arrive at the Hollycroft, here as seen in 1903. The manor house, as it appeared in 1920, now replaced by the police station. And seen here again in the distance, the cottages to the right of the picture have disappeared to make way for the extension to the Atkins factory. If you are now mature in years and you look closely, you may in fact appear as a star at the Lido. The A5 or Watling Street was the site for Stretton House, the home of Colonel Clive Atkins, and here the Atherstone Hunt emerges out onto the A5 in 1935. The cloth cap was the fashion to follow the hunt, and the road widening today was fairly necessary then. School treats were an annual affair, and this shot looking down Lancaster Road shows the Salvation Army and also the gasometer long since removed. I wonder if one of them in the pram was you, or your dad, or even your granddad. And yet another excuse for a parade, the coronation of King George VI and the now present Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth. The cottages were still in Church Walk after the war, but sadly the authorities decided to demolish them. Most of the churches and chapels combine for the annual Sunday school treat. Not all of these buildings remain, although these were filmed as recent as 1959. Easy to recognise is Regent Street in the same period, and the parade passes in front of the old row of shops which, in the early 60s, were replaced with the Edwards Centre. A quick change of venue to Burbage, but once again a significant reason for Jeff Kiddle, who, with his wife Margaret, is later joined by Eunice Lusher. This is awfully nice, meeting up with you again so soon after that little chat we had in the office together.
Indeed.
And it's so nice to see you as well, Margaret.
Thank you.
On such an occasion. I believe that this little house you've got rather pleasant memories of.
Indeed we have, yes.
Yeah.
It's a very happy home to us when we first married.
Yes.
I remember buying it in 1938.
Yeah.
For how much do you think?
How much? Well, I don't know, but I mean, looking at today's prices, I couldn't guess right, I'm sure.
£230.
200.
But he was told he'd got to spend a lot on it before the council.
Well, I suppose that it's rather nice that somebody like yourself buying a place like this, which had got a historical sort of record to it, that you were prepared to do some preservation work on it.
There's a romance in property that's been occupied for years and years and years. It's got, the people leave their mark on it.
It's a friend of yours from many years ago.
It is. Hello, Mrs. Lusher. Nice to see you, yes.
I've been thinking it's a long time since we met in Mr. Mason's son.
Eunice now joins me on a memory lane walk through Burbage and reminisces on some of her remembrances as a child, from when she arrived to live here from Hinckley at the age of 8. You came to live down here, Eunice. Can you remember things about it?
Oh yes, I was about 7, nearly 8, and we came down here with the trap and Dolly.
Oh, yes.
Oh, she was great. And of course, it was very palatial for me to see this place after living in Hinckley, you see.
Lichgate Lane then, Eunice.
That's right. Generally known to the native as Licket Lane.
Licket Lane.
To this very day.
Yeah, and you came down here on that first day of arriving into Burbage with your...
That's right, yes, we came down here.
We're looking now straight across the corner there.
Yes.
At Ken Taylor's. This used to be known as something completely different.
That is the shop that Miss Sparrow used to have.
Yes, and what did you purchase there?
Well, part of it, as soon as you got inside, was the post office. And then the other part was groceries.
Ah, but wasn't there a particular way that you had to get into this shop?
Oh, yes, there was a cord or a string outside, and you pulled it. Then you waited for Miss Sparrow to come and open it from the inside.
I see.
Then you went in and made your purchases, and then when you came out, you had to rely upon Miss Sparrow to pull the cord, and that would open the door at her convenience.
Yeah, her convenience. And I believe that is next door there to the Sparrow shop.
That is so.
Yeah. It's all wonderful old memories, this.
Yes.
Now, across the road, then, we had the Toll House.
That's right.
What was the name of the family that lived there?
The family was named Wright. They had 2 daughters, Elsie and Annie.
Uh-huh. And from this corner, we look across towards the other corner where there used to be a large row of cottages.
That is so.
There we are. There are the cottages. And I believe that you know the names of some of the people that lived in number 2.
Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Chapman brought up their family there.
Yeah?
And then next door, someone by the name of Waring lived in that one.
Yeah. But I believe that you told me that the Chapman family, some of them still live in Licket Lane.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. And one of the daughters eventually got married just prior to the war, I think, and moved down Licket Lane.
That is so.
And having moved in there and the war started, that was where the bomb dropped, I think.
But eventually, very sad, they were all pulled down, and we now have the library.
Here we're going into Carrigan's. I believe that they sold the bicycles as well as the cigarettes and...
I would think they did, yes. It was a very, very full shop.
Yes.
And Mrs. Carrigan was a very large lady.
Oh, yes. Was this where you purchased the tobacconist
That's right.
material? Going further up the street was your favourite sweet shop.
That's right, Betsy Smith.
Yeah.
You went up 3 steps into Betsy's shop.
Yeah. Well, we shall be seeing that in a moment as we go further up the street. There's Betsy stood on the top of the 3 steps.
Yes, that is so.
And there was one thing about this. You used to go here on what day of the week with your penny?
Well, Wednesday really seemed to be the most popular day.
Yeah.
And we spent our pennies, but Donald Kay, whose mother was a postmistress, he had 4 pence.
Oh.
And he used to buy a slab of Radiance toffee. We thought he was very rich.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And we used to look at him and see him eating it.
Yeah. Now, we're looking at the same shop, but from down Church Street,
Yes,
which, of course, has now gone because it's now the car park of the Anchor Inn.
that is so.
And as we come across the road to some other cottages on the left-hand side there, you have memories of those as well.
Oh, yes. Someone by the name of Wills, Miss Wills, used to keep that shop. But you had more sweets for your money because they were so much smaller than Betsy's.
This was a trick of the trade,
Yeah.
I suppose. Yeah.
Yes.
And there in the same cottages looking at from the other angle, you see.
And in the middle one
Yes.
lived old Mr. Baum.
Mr. Baum.
And on one occasion, he had a daughter, and she stayed out rather late.
Uh-huh.
And he had a donkey,
Yes.
and he used to put the donkey on the doorway, and when he was in bed, he would never come down. So we don't know what happened to the daughter.
The donkey was there to keep the daughter.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, this is a little bit further down Church Street, and on the right is the tailor's shop. It was called Fibians or
Thorians.
Forians.
That's right.
That's right.
He was he was a tailor.
Yeah. And next door to that was Kay's
Yes.
eventually.
Yes. Mrs. Kay at the post office.
Yeah. And I believe you can remember the name of the people who kept the wool shop further up.
Porter.
Porters.
Yes.
Yes. We've been there this morning, Archer Cottage, and here we see the Burbage Band, we suspect at the end of the First World War, because you see many of the men are in uniform, but you have memories, I think, of the two ladies that are up in the bedroom window.
That's right. Miss Archer lived in that cottage, and she had a lady living with her by the name of Miss Withy, who was the head mistress for the infant school which I went to when I came to Burbage.
Wonderful, wonderful. And with farms that were out in the country like this, it made a necessity for things like telegrams.
Oh yes, of course. It was quite busy
Yes, I'm sure.
taking them to all around.
Okay, I'm sure. And of course, there weren't always sad things that the telegrams brought.
Oh no, quite joyous on some
On
occasions.
some occasions,
Yes.
yeah. In fact, I personally remember well the little tiny boys on their bicycles with the pillbox hat.
Oh yes.
Can you
Yes.
remember those?
Oh yes, I can. We didn't have the boys with the pillbox.
You didn't?
No, we had a little old lady
Uh-huh.
called Jemima Leeson
Oh,
that lived in Loom Square
Yeah.
in the village.
yes.
Now, she would go anywhere for 2p. She would go to Woolby and all round there, Aston Flamville, Sharnford.
For 2p?
Yes. Looks as if Jemima's coming down here,
Good gracious.
and she must have been up to the farm. And I noticed that she had lots and lots of sticks in her apron on her return.
This was normal for her to collect kindling, was it?
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes.
Oh, she did.
Yeah.
Yes, because they didn't have much coal in those days. before.
No, that's interesting. Now, Lord's Lane, is that anything connected with Mr. Lord who used to have the bus?
That's right. His name was Tom Lord, and he ran a bus each week to Leicester. It was a horse break, and we sat facing each other.
Yes.
And he did this for many, many years.
Wonderful, wonderful. And you went all the way to Leicester? Another fellow transport man, Frank Edwards, has a story to tell of some of his family's achievements. Catholic Church, yeah. And do you think there was any chance that Grandfather Solomon was an active church member?
No idea, but I doubt it.
You doubt it, yes. I'm sure he was quite a good living man, though.
Oh, I'm sure he was, yes.
What was the story about him arriving at Hinckley?
Well, it's just a family story, really, but we understood that he arrived on a barge from somewhere to the wharf down the Country Road by the canal bridge, and he went out and had a night on the booze. And when he came back the next day, the barge had gone and left him there. So therefore, he was stuck in Hinckley, so he did something about it.
What larger family do you think that he had?
1, 2, 3, or 5. I think he had 5 or 6 children.
5 or 6 children, yeah. And one of whom was your father?
Yes, John James.
John James. Was he the youngest?
He was, yes.
Yeah. And what did he do when he left school then?
Well, I think he helped Grandfather, but at a later date, when he could sort himself out a little bit, he purchased the business from Solomon.
The transport
The
business?
transport business from Solomon, yes.
Yeah.
And he carried on doing carriages to and from Leicester and things like that, and where Lewis's big shop, which is not Lewis's now, but was built, used to be the Fox Inn. And that's where they used to have it as their calling place in Leicester.
They also became committed with the Sketchley Company, I think, transporting for them.
Oh yes, after the war, after the Second World War.
After the Second World War?
Yes.
Ah.
After the Second World War, we did quite a lot of work with Sketchley dye work. That's before they put the individual cleaning machines into each shop.
Each shop. Yes, that's right, yeah. Now, how did the company, or no, how did the family become involved in the knitwear and hosiery?
Well, Jack, my eldest brother, John James' eldest son, when he left school, he joined the factory and did an apprenticeship as a counterman, and went all the way through that apprenticeship, and then later he went through the factory itself on the making side of things. And he got quite a big knowledge of that.
Yeah. And then I believe that it was your niece, Rita, that married John Swift.
Correct.
Who became the salesman on the hosiery side.
That's right, yes.
And he got a little bit of an involvement on a promotion for a particular product.
Yes, he did, yes. He apparently picked up an advert in a paper, a Sunday paper, followed it up, got some information, and as it happened, Brother Arthur was going to America, and he made a point of going up to the Empire State Building to the office of this promoter.
Yes.
And
this promoter was Kraft.
Oh yes, he was doing it for Kraft.
Yes.
He was a promoter independent, but he was doing it for the Kraft margarine people.
Yes.
And they got this idea going, and they wanted someone to supply the goods. So we supplied samples to them, which they were very pleased with.
The stockings, yes.
The stockings, yes. And then they came through with an order. They were going to put it on their margarine packs.
Yes.
And then with a return coupon.
Yes.
And that's how we got into them.
Yeah. And this was around about the late 1950s.
Yes, it would be.
And I understand. We think that financially it was a great success for the company.
Oh, it was, yes, definitely.
And for the family, and together with the transport business, this is how the Edwards Centre arrived.
That's correct.
Yeah. How wonderful. There's one of the major landmarks of the town. Gather that during the building of the Edwards Centre, you had just a little contretemps with one of the owners of a property at the far end.
That's right. Copper. That's correct, yes.
Yeah. But you managed to overcome.
We did, yes. By negotiation. He moved next door into a new building.
Yes, that you erected.
That we erected, which was part of the Edward Centre, and then we carried on building the site from there.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
And there's one of the changing faces of Hinckley, the Edward Centre.
That's right.
And there we have it, you see, a little snippet there. There'll be some more to come. I've got to do the whole videotape. Sadly, a lot of the videotape seems to be, the sound is quite behind on some, so I've got to see if I can do a little bit of magic to make the sound go in sync with all the other bits that's on that particular tape. So we will be featuring that in the coming weeks. We've seen little bits before. That was some bits I think you haven't seen before in that particular clip. There we go. So good evening. It's a bank holiday Monday evening, and as we've been asking, whatever, however you spent your day, and of course it's back to the grind tomorrow and all that business. And it's been interesting to see people's comments there in the chat room. Now, firstly, some people saying, I've got the anagram. Some people saying, I've got the where in Hinckley. So let's get them both on the screen, one at a time. Firstly, the anagram. I trap a rollicking curry mac. And can I have sauce on it, please? That is the anagram. I've never seen a bus here. True. And it is a local, not in Hinckley, but it's not a million miles from Hinckley. It's a local sporting venue which is known up and down the country. I can't be much fairer than that. I was just telling Mrs. G, you've been there. Have I? Yeah, no. Anyway, so that is the anagram. Have a go. If you've got it already, well done, you clever clogs. Apparently Ray has got both this and the where in Hinckley. So let's flick over to the where in Hinckley and see if you can get that one as well. Wait, I nearly put the answer out then for the where in Hinckley. I have to look down my list. There's the where in Hinckley. Right, here we go. There is the where in Hinckley. Where in Hinckley? Is that been posh window? Really posh? Yeah. Well, it's pretty easy actually, but we need to know where. If you get it right, we'll give you a gobstopper, something like that. But however, keep it to yourself. Don't put it in the chat room. Please don't do that. But keep the fun going, and we'll give you the answers to both at the end. Now then, coming back to the film you've just been looking at, and Carol Beasley said, that was a brilliant film, Paul. Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's lots more of it, but I've got to get the synchronisation of the audio because it's all over the place. Trust me, it really is. And Daniel Coburn also saying, it was so great to see that. And now then, and also... Jan Kirby said, love seeing Frank Edwards again. Yeah, Frank was a lovely man. In fact, Arthur was also a lovely gentleman and much missed by Hinckley folk, I would say, definitely. I had the privilege of meeting Arthur way back in 1990, and I think I've told you the story how the Edwards family gave Castlemead Hospital Radio the funds to get it up and running. Way back in 1990, and that was great. So we've never forgot that. Never, ever forgot that. So, Anyway, Ian Roberts has been off partying himself with Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and then suddenly realised he was missing us. Oh, you've missed a good one tonight. And Gary Bettle is here. He said, we have our bank holiday on the 1st of May. On the 1st of May, great day off work. Ha ha! There you are, you see. Over the water in France and a million miles away is our Gary. There we have it. Now then, so we've been playing Where in Hinckley. We've also got the anagram, so that's good. Also, I must just remind you of the next social night. Oh, my word, this is a cracker. Don't go away on a holiday. Don't. For me to get these guys to come and do this talk, it's took me ages. And to go away on holiday is sacrilege, because these guys don't do this talk to just, seriously, I'm not joking now. They don't do this talk for just anybody. But they would do it for us, which is really nice. The Secrets of Market Bosworth and the Railway in World War II. Now listen, come along, because I doubt these guys will come again, because they're busy doing lots of other things on the railway. But please come along. Don't miss this one, because it's going to be an incredible night. It's like a ticket only do, but the tickets are free, because we needed to monitor how many people are coming, and so far it should be pretty well a full room. So please, 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 you're welcome to come along, and if you want a ticket to insure a place, then just send us an email, contact@hdpp.co.uk, and we will get you your free ticket. But it's a good idea, because then that way you won't have to hang from the chandeliers to watch at the do on the night. That's our next social night then, and that's on Wednesday the 25th of May, 7:30. Thank you, Mrs. Come along. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be a great, great night. I can promise you that is for sure. We're just about ready for our nosy now. Let me just give the final chance of our Where in Hinckley. Where in Hinckley, that's where we are. Where is that's pretty easy, I know. And also, where are we with the aniogram? There we go. I trap a rollicking curry mac and live to tell the tale. The clue. I've never seen a bus here, which is true. I've never seen a bus there. But it's a very popular sporting venue, not a million miles away from Hinckley. It's well known up and down the country. It really, really is. I can't say no more than that. After I gave Mrs. G a few little subtle clues, she goes, so she knows. What about you? Keep it to yourselves if you know. Mary Blake says, I've got them. She's running round. Mary's running round. She's got both. Can you get two? Yes, well done, Mary. There's some other people getting two tonight. So well done there. Absolutely brilliant. Okay then. Right, what time? Oh my word, look at it. If you're watching this live, it's about 8:15 on a Monday evening. And we've yet to go off with a nosy. My word, is that man, Mr. Nosy, getting more? He's getting all over the place. And if you follow him on YouTube, and indeed you follow him on social media, you know that Steve is a little bit upset at me, because he thinks that probably one of his little childhood haunts is probably going to be wiped off the face of the landscape. So I can empathise with you there, Steve. So there we go. Kevin Beasley says, by the way, think I've got both. There you go. All these likes coming in this evening. It's been a busy, busy old night. It really, really is. Let me just remind those latecomers coming into the stream tonight. The memorial service that's taking place, exactly 100 years since the unveiling of the memorial on Friday, the 20th of May, 10:45. HDPP will be there. We're going to try and video it and take lots of photographs as well. Come along and be part of this, because in another 100 years' time, they'll be looking back at what we've done. You see, whether you like it or not, that's what will be going on. There's a thing. And as I say, our DVD, as I say, is about, and it's available right now from Jasper's. I don't know whether Jan's watched her copy yet. I know she said she was going to get one. But anyway, meanwhile, back in the chat room, Dave Blower says, I may be taken to Where in Hinckley with my mum. Maybe you have. And as I say, poor Steve saying, I'm not happy about what the proposals are for one of his childhood haunts, and you wouldn't be about, and I'd be just the same. So there we go. Okay, we're about ready for our nosy now, and our Steve, he gets all over the place. He's been to more places than there is places, because he knows where to find the best noses, all around the place. Indeed, he has. And Jan's just saying, by the way, Paul. Yes, Paul, it's brilliant. We watched it last weekend. Jan, just before I let Steve in, Jan, can you just do a post on the group saying how much you enjoyed it, because it encourages more sales. But that's what we're trying to do. If you put, that you enjoyed it, blah, 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 then it's really, really appreciated. Okay, sorry, right, Steve, who is waiting on stage left to come in to give us another nosy on this bank holiday Monday evening. Settle back and let's learn a bit more. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Nosy himself, Steve Picker.
Hello, hey up and how you diddling? My name is Steve and once again it's a great big warm welcome from myself to Let's Explore. Right then, so in today's video, we're here, there and everywhere. We're gallivanting all over the Ocker in the pursuit of pleasure and happiness, because you know the deal by now when you're into this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And I like to refer to this type of nosy as an eclectic nosy, because like I say, we're going everywhere. Now we're starting down here, not far from Staunton Harold, in between Staunton Harold and the village of Ticknell in South Derbyshire, looking at little bits of this Ticknell tramway that I never visited in the first video that I did down here about a year ago now, pretty much about bang on a year ago. I think it were at Easter, weren't it? Do you know what I mean? Now, as you can see here, you've got a wonderful old bridge. Now, this might not have been built when the tramway first started its operations in 1802, because I think, like I say, I think this is a separate branch that went to a works down there called Dimminsdale's, I think it was called. But yeah, lovely old bridge this, fantastic old red engineering brickwork. But it's amazing, this tramway, and I'll tell you why, because it was built to supply the canal aid, the Ashby-de-la-Zouch Canal at Wellesley Basin, where it terminated from Ticknell, where it started, and it survived it well into the great steam locomotive age. This was still working, this tramway, up until 1913. Now that's incredible, do you know what I'm saying? And it terminated at Ashby Old Parks Tunnel. Of course, that tunnel was originally built for the tramway, for it to get to its destination where it terminated at Wellesley Basin, as I've just said. But yeah, amazing piece of history. Anyway, let's get on with it, because we've got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in. Right, so just up from that first bridge then that we've just been looking at, the red engineering built bridge, which is on a separate branch that comes off this down to an area known as Dimminsdale's, as I've just been showing you. You've got this one. Now we're on the main Ticknell tramway at this point, the one that opened in 1802. Of course, the one that we looked at first, I think was a later addition to the tramway, I think. So this then would be the older of the two bridges, built from this beautiful stone. And it's nice to see as well with this one, we've got these plates here with steel rods that go through to the other side, helping hold it all together, because we need to preserve stuff like this for future generations, don't we? Because, for me, this kind of history, it's really important. And not only that, it's great to see when you're out on your walk into, it's great walking places like this. But we're just outside the northwest Leicestershire border in Derbyshire at this point, I think. Now, had it have been in Leicestershire, this would be, maybe, I'm not quite certain, the oldest bridge, railway-related bridge in Leicestershire, but it's not. But we're going to look at what remains of a bridge in a bit. It's not as old as this one, but it's not too far off. Right then, so this part of the Ticknell tramway is quite interesting. Sorry if there's any wind interference, by the way. So what we've got quite a large embankment here that was built, prior to it opening in 1802, of course. Now we're stood in a bit of a valley that's been carved out by a lovely little stream stream down there known as the Red Brook. Now you know which end of the deal and the bargain you're getting now, don't you? Because there will be indeed a culvert down here. Now these culverts, in my opinion, they deserve as much attention as the bridges, you know, the viaducts, you know, the canals, the railways and all of them, because, you know, they're a vital piece of infrastructure, the culverts were, because they had to keep this water moving. You know, you can't just build a great big embankment like this and dam everywhere off, do you know what I mean? So they were very, very important, and, you know, 220 years later, it's still doing its job. So anyway, let's go and have a look at her, come on. Right, so I've got to watch what I'm doing here, because the footwear I've got on, I've put the wrong footwear on. It's not got very good tread, and it's a very steep embankment actually. And you know, it was a skill, you know, embankment building was in itself. You know, getting the size just about right and what have you. I'm thankful for that fence post. I know that much. Oh bloody hell! It's all part of the job, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Right, I've got to watch it don't fall in here. Oh, bloody Jesus Christ, that. Nearly went. Right, here it is. I'm not going in this one, it's only a small one, but it's a nice one, it's a pretty one. Built out of stone, actually. What do you reckon to that then? That's nice, isn't it? Bit of wear and tear on the outfall of it here, but yeah, beautifully built. Like everything was back then, wasn't it, you know? Oh, I'll tell you something else and all, I ain't half getting hungry, me ducks. Do you know what I mean? It's about time for a Melvin Cobb, because I do indeed have a Melvin Cobb in my man bag here. I tell you what, I could eat a scabby donkey. Oh no, not a scabby donkey. I mean, why do we say that? Because you wouldn't really want to eat a scabby donkey, would you? The poor donkeys, leave them alone. Anyway, let's try and find somewhere and have a picnic, because I tell you what, I ain't half hungry, as I've just told you. And this, still on the tramway here. Right, so this looks like a decent place to stop and have something to eat then, because we've got a nice seat here, haven't we? Thanks to this old birch tree. Yeah, not bad at all, is it, that? What a beautiful day. It's that time of the year again, isn't it, folks? You know, we absolutely love it, don't we? Absolutely fantastic. In truth, I had my bag of crisps earlier. But, look at that. Melvin Cobb, roast beef, 65p. Now I reckon he's made a little balls up there, because I'm sure there were more than that not long ago. But don't tell him. Don't tell Uncle Melvin. Now Melvin's shop is actually around the corner from my house. And I've lived in my house for nearly 11 years, so I've been using his shop for that long as well. And, you know, such great value for money in there when it comes to these. You can't go to Tesco and get a meal deal for what I get my stuff for. Do you know what I'm saying? It ain't bad going, you know. I like this. It's got suspension. As long as it don't snap, we'll be all right. Very comfy. Right, so what I want to show you next is this old agricultural building in the background here. Now, if you're anything like me, a little bit daft, then you're fascinated with these structures. Now, I could make multiple videos about these structures, but I do appreciate the fact that that might be quite boring for you. But this one in particular has caught my eye recently. Now, in my opinion, it's early 19th century or late 18th century. For me, it's very old. But this, for me, is potentially what I call a two-in-one, where they both had livestock living on the ground floor and people living upstairs. Now, there's no evidence from what I can see from here of a chimney stack or anything like that, but it's definitely a very old building. And as you can probably see, there's a bit of a yard area in front where animals would have lived once. But, you know, this is from a time in agriculture where there were no major transport links or anything. You know, you got about by walking or going on horse or oss and cart, do you know what I mean? So getting materials to build a structure like this out in the sticks was quite difficult, I suppose. But let's go and have a look at it anyway. The fascinating old structures, I love them. Right, lovely, what a beautiful old building. And if you're wondering why I've got my cap on, it's because most of this video was made last weekend and I'm now finishing it off. All right, capiche? Is that all right with you? Right, let's show you around this then. Right, well, this is a beautiful old building, you know. Like I said, I don't know how old it is. For me, early 19th, late 18th century. But, you know, just look at this here. These red brick pillars here, beautiful. And over here, we've got these beautiful old animal troughs here. So, you know, animals were definitely using this building. Now, it remains to be seen whether humans were up there. There's no actual evidence. I can't see any at the minute of a staircase. There is a hatch here. There may have been some sort of steps there, not a staircase. But it's a fantastic building. And there's actually evidence of a barn owl here. I've seen numerous pellets about, but yeah, what a wonderful building this is. We have indeed got a bit of a hatch here. Now, I'm not going to be going up here. I'll show you through it, but there is doorways up here. Now, whether this was, you know, actually lived in upstairs by people, I don't know, maybe once. It's had a new roof on since, so, you know, maybe there could have been a chimney here. I can't see any evidence of one. It looks like that was rendered in there. You'll see in a minute. But yeah, fascinating. Right, let's show you up here then. Just watch me step. All right. There you go. So, I mean, there's a bit of light coming through the door there, but if you look through that door, that wall looks like it's been rendered near that window. So, you know, possibly I'm right. But in fact, you're getting a better view of this than I am. There's a lot of owl shit by the looks of it. But yeah, whether it was a dwelling once for people, maybe not, but could be. Newish roof, as you can see. It's not the original roof. That ain't. Beautiful old building. Right, so I've just been showing you up that hatch there, and I don't know if you've seen it when I put the phone through there, the camera, but there's some owl pellets there, so I'm going to show you them actually because they fascinate me. Oh, it's getting like bloody wildlife on one, ain't it? Do you know what I mean? I think it's an owl pellet. Yeah, so, you know, these are very interesting, these are. Now, I don't know how much you know about barn owls, but what they do, they can't digest all of the food. So what they do, in fact, what's that out there? I think one's, no, it was a crow. So I don't know if you can see that. So if they eat a mouse, they regurgitate anything they can't digest. So got a little bone there, look, a little limb. Absolutely fascinating. Where's the head? Yeah, so, yeah, here's the skull. It just fascinates me. Yeah, it's absolutely covered in fur, but yeah, the skull is something moving about up there. I think so. There's the skull, look. Can you see that? I bet it's gone off zoom, not zoom, focus. Yeah, fascinating. Right, let's get out of here. Right, so what did you make of that then? Very interesting structure, and to be honest, I was going to show you around a little bit more of it. It's pretty same to be honest. But there was indeed an owl in there to come back in. And when I said I thought there was a bird outside and it was a crow, the first one was a crow. And I heard something creeping about upstairs and it was an owl scratching about. So I thought, you know what, I'll leave it be. It's only about right, isn't it? You know, but yeah, fascinating old building that, and it's fantastic to see barn owls doing really well, living in these structures. I see a lot of them about when I'm out doing this thing, sticking my beak in and having a nosy, do you know what I mean? Anyway, on to the next thing where I probably won't have my cap on because I recorded that last week. Right, let's do it. Right, so you now join me on what remains of the Derby to Ashby Railway, which was a branch line of the Midland Railway that was built in 1868. Well, it was built from Derby to Melbourne in 1868, then they extended it in 1874 to Ashby de la Zouch in northwest Leicestershire. But the part of it I'm stood on now is just north of a village known as Newbold in northwest Leicestershire, not to be confused with Newbold Verdon in Leicestershire, but just about here. Now over there you've got a modern day industrial estate there, but just here it actually there used to be a branch that went round to Lount Colliery. Now that branch was built in 1833 and was the Clawton Railway, which was a horse-drawn tramway that used to fetch coal and what have you from an area known as the Smoil on the other side, I think it's pronounced Smoil anyway, on the other side of the Melbourne Road just over there. We're going to look at a nice old Midland Railway bridge over there in a bit. But it's a fascinating area around here. There was a pipe yard over there back in the day, as you'll see on the maps, and there was a pipe yard on the other side of the roads as well. But yes, that is indeed over there, that old branch line, the old Clawton Railway, and of course they converted that to run diesel locomotives up and down it, and probably steam ones as well. There's a picture of a diesel locomotive coming out of Newbold Tunnel as well, and you know that was built as a tramway, horse-drawn tramway, and you know built by very early civil engineer specialists in this kind of thing, because of course they're in that transitional period of building the canals and now building these new things called railways, weren't they? So Newbold Tunnel does indeed look a little bit like a canal tunnel. Anyway, let's get over here because there's some interesting things to see over here. Right then, so we're just at the side of Melbourne Road, which is just over there. There's a beautiful old bridge there that the Midland Railway constructed in around about 1874 when they extended the railway, as I said earlier, to Ashby de la Zouch. But just at the side of the cutting here, around about 15 metres away from there, I'd say, you've got this little brick structure here. Now, I don't think this is as old as 1874. It may well be, I might be wrong. It has got a concrete roof on it. I'm not sure what this is. I've looked on maps. I initially thought it were a plate layers up, but I don't think it is. I think it was serving as something else. Now, from what I've seen on the maps, I can't actually, it doesn't actually say what it was, but I don't think it was a plate layers up, but I might be wrong. There are numerous vents around the outside of it. So it could have been some sort of engine house for doing something like that. But there are other kind of earthworks round here and what remains of brick foundations. So not really sure what was happening, but well, look anyway. Right, so as you can see then, there ain't actually no in here apart from bare walls. Well, they're not bare, they've got bloody graffiti on them as per usual, isn't there? But like I say, you know, up there and just above you got air vents. So whatever this was doing, they needed to keep it ventilated. So could have been some sort of pumping system in here or some sort of engine house. There isn't actually any evidence of where anything would have been bolted to the floor or to the wall. So yeah, a bit stuck really as to what it actually was. So we have then, like I said, we've got all sorts of little bits and bobs going off around here. So I've just been showing you that building there. And then just here, look, we've got a tree growing out of something. There used to be a bit of a small building here. We've got the old concrete block foundation. Now, with it being concrete blocks, I'm assuming it's not as old as what we typically find when we're out doing this kind of thing. It's not Victorian, let's put it like that. It just amazes me. You know, I say it a lot when I come to these places. You know, that building there, why is it still standing? Strange, isn't it? You know, they obviously demolished everything else round here. I mean, there's all sorts of little bits and bobs. I'm not going to show you all of it because you can't really see an awful lot apart from this kind of thing. But yeah, they knock all this down, but they leave that unless that carried on doing its job after all this stuff did. Strange, isn't it? Right then, so here indeed is our Midland Railway bridge that takes the Melbourne Road above the top of us here, that probably many of us from northwest Leicestershire have driven on many a time. I know I have, but it's one of those bridges again that have got the skewered brickwork, so great craftsmanship, and it's actually typical of what I've seen of Midland Railway bridges so far, exploring other branches of this railway in Leicestershire. But it's not so much the bridge I want to show you first. I've got something fascinating to show you. Look at this. I've actually got some of the old railway here, look, the actual railway furniture. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic, that. Really heavy as well, do you know what I mean? And another bit over here as well, look. So, I mean, this is rusting away now quite badly. Actually, at the touch of a finger, it's rusting away. And of course, they used to bolt the actual track together with this. So, ooh, just got a bit in the eye then. So, yeah, it's great that it's still here, isn't it? And there's actually a bit buried up there as well. So, yeah, absolutely fantastic, that. Great find. So amazingly, I've just found a piece of old railway track here, and as you can see in the background, you've got that old building that, you know, we're not sure what it is. But, you know, I've just been in there showing you underneath that bridge, and we found the old railway furniture that used to join these together with. But yeah, this is definitely an old piece of actual rail. A great find. It's rusting away a little bit, and it has indeed got the bolt holes here that they were used for to fasten them together. There's two there. But what I like about this, what's very interesting about this, and I might be wrong, is right, we've got more bolt holes here. Now if you notice this, I'm not sure if you can see it, let me just move it back a bit because I need to show you this bit. Oh, and they're bloody heavy as well, I tell you. Oh, no wonder them navvies needed a load of beer down them. But if you look at this, look, I hope you can see that. It actually reduces in width, look here. So it's standard size up that end, then it reduces. Now I think I know why, I'm not certain about this, by the way. Now there was a signal box over there, and of course we know that there was a junction down here with a branch line, the old part of the Clawton horse-drawn tramway, which they converted to drive locos on in and out of Lount Colliery, which was up there somewhere. So for me, this probably came off the main line, and that's why it's thin. So when they were point switching, of course you needed it to be thinner. I don't think I'm explaining that very well, but yeah, this is indeed an old piece of railway track, and that for me is where it was used, on a junction. Amazing, great little find that, and I love that detail that it's thin here. Do you know what I mean? Because we think that's where it were from. Brilliant stuff. Right, onwards and upwards. I like that. And two bolt holes here as well. No, there's not. There's one. There's three this end. Right, let's get on with it. Alrighty then, so it wasn't until I started editing this video that I started looking at further maps, including this one, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland, an Ordnance Survey map dated 1955. Now just out of the shot here to the left is the bridge that I've just been showing you on Melbourne Road. And at the top of the screen there you can see a number of railway tracks there. That is indeed Lount Colliery sidings, but I didn't realise that at the time. So that piece of railway line that I've just been showing you, that piece of track, was actually from there, I believe, because as you can see, you've got multiple sidings. Now in the centre of the screen is that building we were looking at. Now this doesn't tell us what it was in the centre of the screen, as you can see. Now there were other foundations around there, and again I can't find anything on those, so I'm a bit bamboozled, but at the end of the day, if you're going to go for a nosy, that's the sort of thing you want to come across, isn't it? Anyway, round about now we've got to go and look at some beautiful bluebells, because I tell you what, you're getting everything in this bloody video, ain't you? Come on, let's go head over to Shepshed and go and have a look. Oh, we love this gallivanting, don't we? Anyway, we're not looking at the Charman Forest Railway today. We are indeed, though, over Shepshed again, but it's what's through there and the other side, a few hundred yards away, I want to check up on. Come on. Right, so what do you reckon to this then? This is one of my favourite places on earth, this is. I'm not a very well-travelled man, but this for me, I come here every year without fail, I think. You know, since I found this place when I was 13 or 14 years of age, I've come down here ever since just to see this. It's remarkable. Now, I'm not a horticulturalist by any stretch of the imagination, but bluebells, they're incredible. And the fragrance in here is beautiful, and I think these are now just about at the best, so they'll probably start wilting in the next week or so. I'm not really sure, but I've been coming here every year for well over 20 years. It's absolutely stunning, you know, on the outskirts of Shepshed. And unfortunately, you know, a few hundred yards behind the camera, they're actually building. They'll most likely, unfortunately, end up building down to to the Blackbrook here at some point. I hope not, but you know, it's stunning. But I tell you what, you got your money's worth today, ain't you? It's right eclectic little video this is, but show you around here. It's absolutely stunning. So privileged to have somewhere like this to come to. But yeah, I just thought I'd share this with you again, this place. We did come here this time last year and make a little video, but it's heaven on earth, and you know, just listen to that. I can hear a chiff-chaff in the background. I can hear blue tits over there, a pheasant, crows. It's absolutely amazing. You know, nature's so good for your soul, man. I find if I'm in a bad mood, if I come somewhere like this, I forgot that I was in a mood. Stunning. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this little part of the video. I really had to put this in today. Stunning. All right, let's get on with it. Right, so I really wanted to end today's video here today because this is Aqueduct Road in the small village of Clawton in northwest Leicestershire, not far actually from Colville, which is just over there. Now what you're looking at here are two abutments of, I think, one of the oldest bridges, railway related bridges in Leicestershire. Now this is the Clawton Railway, what remains of it. Now this bridge was actually dismantled, I think, in the 60s or 70s, I'm not quite sure, but this of course was part of the Clawton Railway that opened in 1833. So that way it would have gone to the bottom of the Leicester and Swannington Railway. Now we know that the Leicester and Swannington Railway was the first steam operated railway in the Midlands. I think it was anyway, I'm pretty sure it was. You know, and this opened in 1833 as well. So what I'm questioning is this bridge, well what's left of it, one of the oldest or the oldest railway bridge in the county of Leicestershire, and it's possibly one of the oldest in the Midlands actually, isn't it? You know, 1833. But it was a horse-drawn tramway, and as far as I know it never seen steam. I don't think it did anyway. It was hauling goods from the area that we've just been to on the Midland Railway there, around the Smoil. And I keep saying Smoil, I think that's how you pronounce it anyway. But I'll show you around this. This is beautiful, and beautiful stonework. It's absolutely amazing. And this railway, I think, this Clawton Railway, operated for around about 40 years. And I know that because there's a blue plaque round there that says it. Let's show you. Right, well unfortunately that concludes today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed this. We've seen some interesting stuff, haven't we? And at least if you didn't enjoy it, I did. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, really had to end it here. I mean, this is fascinating, what's left of this old bridge. It really is. And yeah, we've got so much history around this area. We really have. It's underrated in my humble opinion, but I can't stop looking at that. It's lovely, isn't it? Anyway, if you did like this video, please like, subscribe and share it. And I'll be seeing you very soon for another bit of nosiness. See you again. Thanks for watching. Bye.
And there he goes, off to find a brand new windshield for his microphone, Steve. He needs one there, doesn't he? That's what that sort of thunders at. It's the wind, and you need a particular windshield to stop that, however. And great nosy and very varied with all the stuff that we saw there, Steve. So thank you very much indeed for that. As you would have seen probably in the chat while that was going on, Steve's he's got some... He's got some secret stuff coming here our way very soon, which he can't say where it is, and I understand why. But it's going to be very good to have those here on Hinckley District, past and present, in the not too distant future. Right, okay then. So it's Get your answers in time. First of all, we'll go to the old Where in Hinckley. Where in Hinckley? Send your answers in now. And by the way, while you're doing that, Steve said, I lost my windshield on a nosy through the brambles. Yeah, get yourself another one, mate. We need it. So, get your answers in now then. Where in Hinckley are we first? So, there we go. Yep, there we have it. We know somewhere in Hinckley. No, look, they've all put in the wrong answers. I'm asking for the where in Hinckley, not the blaming anagram. Will you pay attention? They always do things wrong way round. So I'm asking for where in Hinckley. You've already gave the anagram away. Thank you very much. No, I'm still waiting. I'll just fill on there just a minute until the right answer comes in, because we know that Jeff and Anna got it right and a few other people. We're doing where in Hinckley first. Dave B. Baptist Walk. No, it's not, mate. Good guess, but it's not. Kevin Beasley. It's the borough. Yes, it's the church in the borough, the United Reformed Church. Well done, Kevin. Well done, Maureen. So well done. Yes, let me just show you where you can see these aforesaid bits of where in Hinckley. There we are. Look. There, that's the church in the borough. Now we go on to, of course. Now we go on to our anagram. The anagram we were going on with, if anybody wants to put their answer in now, but they already have done anyway. We were saying, I trap a rollicking curry mac. Yes. Rearrange that. Yes. And you get Mallory Park Racing Circuit. Words to that effect. That's where we were at Mallory Park anyway. That's what we wanted. Yes. Dave B. Mallory Park Racing Circuit. Absolutely correct. And for some of those others, pay attention. I don't know. Anyway, it's good. Anyway, we'll have more of the same next Monday night here on Hinckley District Past and Present, because we'll have more films for you, of course, and another Where in Hinckley and another Haniogram as well. And also, we know that it's a bank holiday, so once again, some people are away. Some people, Jan, is it Mallory Park? Wait, Jan. I love them. Anyway, so we'll do next week, because with this being a bank holiday, some of our regulars aren't made it, you know. But oh yeah, there's another like too. Well done. Anyway, but it's been a real interesting night, and with Steve keeps those noses coming and whatnot, and I can keep the pictures coming, and there's various features here. Really good, I would say. So just a reminder, like I say, if you haven't got our DVD yet, please go buy it. A lot of hard work gone into it, and if you have bought it and you've watched it and you've enjoyed it, please post on the group that you enjoyed it, please, because I want to do like a little testimony for it later, but I can't put that people said they like it unless they really do genuinely like it, you see. That's the way we are. Anyway, so all being well, but Maureen Harris said, christened and married at the United Reformed Church, then the Congregational Church, yes. And Paul Carroll said, well, I'll be at my craft group next week. Well, you'll have to watch it on YouTube then, on catch up, yeah. Yes, and as Jan Kirby's just rightfully reminded me, don't forget Burbage Common Open Day this coming Sunday. If you fancy an afternoon or morning out, take a walk down there. Hinckley District Past to Present, we're not going this year, well, mainly because we couldn't sell anything, and it cost the group a bit of money actually for insurance purposes, and to be honest, we thought no, we would much rather not if we can't sell some of our stuff, which we would have liked to have done. So we won't be there, so you'll be quite safe to go along knowing you're not going to be accosted by any of the HDPP team as well. Anyway, glad you all enjoyed it, and like I say, we should be back on next Monday without Carol Beasley. Oh, well, and you can join us as well. So until then, please take care, look after yourselves, and remember to keep it HDPP, and to keep it live. Until then, ta-da!
interesting. Here again, HDPP live. Hey, you know it keeping it HDPP live.
Oh, hello. Well, blow me. Look who's here. Well, this is the part of the programme, as you know, we never talk about this part of the programme. And this is the part where I always try to send you to bed with a little chuckle. No, not Barry Chuckle or anybody like that. Just a little chuckle and a smile between your cheeks. Anyway, so let's see what we can do for you tonight. See how you get on with some of these now. Then these are a bit tongue-in-cheek, and I like them. They're sort of in the vein of a dad joke as well. Finally, my winter fat is gone. Now I have spring rolls. True. You know what it's like, yeah. Yes, we know, thank you. Why did the banana go to the doctor? He wasn't peeling well. Why, thank you. Why did the Viking buy a second-hand boat? Because he couldn't afford a new one. Butterflies just aren't what they used to be. A bossy man walks into the bar. He orders everyone around. Orders everyone. This is true. Alcohol won't fix your problems. It's worth a shot. How are we doing? All right. Also, whoever invented zero, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. Zero. Wasted. I burned my Hawaiian pizza. I should have used a lower temperature. A lower temperature. Buying a belt that doesn't fit is a huge waste. Waste, W-A. No. What happens after you eat alphabet soup? You have a vowel movement. Oh dear. Finally, I tried to phone the ladder company, but it just rung and rung. I like that one. Going up in the world. All right. Now we'll only get the hiccups, which always means he's had enough normally when it gets to that, and then we have to stop. Time to stop, and we'll be back, of course, as I say, next Monday at 7:30. I hope you can join us then. Till there, take care. All the best. Bye bye.